Thank you guys for being here tonight. First, let me give our thoughts and prayers from our program for all those affected by the hurricane. We obviously understand that things occur outside of our city, and so our entire program's thoughts and prayers of those affected by the hurricane. And I also want to thank the crowd. I thought the crowd tonight was fantastic. I thought our fans showed up. The students, once again, were great. They braved through some of the little bit of the rain that came through the game, and I was quite pleased. So the crowd was fantastic. We're going to need more and more to continue to show up, but they did a great job tonight. Obviously pleased with the win, but like in every game, a lot to be improved upon. And, I go in the locker room and just like past weeks, hey, everybody raised their hand and said there's a lot to learn from and a lot to continue to grow. Overall, right, the defense, I thought they did some really nice things. Anytime you can hold an opponent to 7 points, that's tremendous. You guys can see the scores throughout college football. It's really, really hard. And, more than anything, I think, everybody wanted to talk about the previous week, and I get that. But our guys had a great mindset and approach, and it started with Sunday, And I think you win the game that you play on a Saturday by your preparation all week. And I think it started with Sunday saying, okay, we learned from the defeat at Navy, a tough loss. And now our 100% of our focus was Middle Tennessee. And I think our guys did an excellent job. I think it speaks for the resiliency of the young men in that locker room, the leadership that we have, that we're just so fortunate. And it's all about the players. They're just doing a fantastic job of saying, okay, hey, we'll learn from this. We'll grow from this. And, from Sunday on, it's been 100% how can we improve ourselves and then find a way to go get 1-0 the following Saturday tonight versus Middle Tennessee. But quite pleased with that. Some good things on offense. Obviously, Mario having over 160 all-purpose yards, great. Elijah, a sack and a half and 10 tackles is phenomenal. The Kobe Minor play. I have not watched the Jordan Greer to see, exactly what happened on that fumble out of the end zone, but it's stuff we show. Effort plays are huge to us, and that's how you win football games. But look, again, a nice job, and I'm proud of the team. But, like every good coach, not even good coach, every coach just ready to get back to the film and see what we can improve upon. But excited and ready to move on into conference play strictly and see where the chips may fall 1 week at a time.
Rick? Ryan, Ryan Herring missed a couple of games. For him to come back and have the performance he did, what did you think about his performances?
Yeah, look, statistically he did a phenomenal job. I think, everybody said, oh, you beat Florida State without him. Well, that's great, but he's still a phenomenal player, right? He got named defense player of the week and then is out for a couple games. I think, he does a tremendous job. He's such a great athlete. He's got a great knack for the ball. Obviously, tonight he did a tremendous job with what he was able to do. His presence was missed. Obviously, like everything with every position, it's next man up. And we're pleased with what he's able to do, and hopefully he's healthy and continue to progress through the season. In the hotel, I sat there and I said, okay, we always talk about owning the football. You guys already know. That's we preach it, we live it, and all that stuff. But I said, we got to go get takeaways. I said, but guys, I'm putting this out there in the universe, and it's easy for me to sit up here and tell you guys. I said, we're going to get a sack force fumble tonight, and it's going to get things going. And sure enough, and that's when we were all sitting there smiling. They're like, just a lucky guess on my end, but put it out there in the universe and good things happen. But I do think, right, those are monumental plays, right? That get things going, kind of get the energy going. Our guys came ready to play. The Tiger Walk was phenomenal. Our fans showed up regardless of what the weather may have been, and I think our guys had the right mindset and approach. Obviously, we just didn't hit the ground running like we need to. Some uncommon mistakes. Obviously, the Kobe Drake fumble on a punt return is inexcusable. We've got to be better on our return game. Obviously, we had some explosives, but we can't turn the ball over, right? You look at the kickoff last week, kickoff return, where we did a poor job. And then tonight, the Kobe Drake fumble, he'll be the first to admit. You're talking about our vet, one of our most short-handed guys, make a mistake like that. I thought there's elements of our special teams that have been really good, but it's this. We just got to be more consistent, and that's my job to get that fixed.
Terry, what did the defense do better this week versus last week?
Tackle. Obviously it's a different type of offense. Like I said, last week, it didn't have the guys prepared. This week, I thought the guys, were really focused. The communication was really great by the defense, getting guys lined up, communicating different things that they were seeing out there by the offense. And just going out and look, we still miss tackles. And that's one of those things that every week, even during this bye, we got to focus on tackling better. And we're going to have to because we got some really potent offenses in this conference.
Ryan, how much does a win like this help? Because you've got conference play going the rest of the season, but how much does it help to get the confidence back as a whole?
Yeah, and that was one of the conversations I had with our team on Sunday. Is what I didn't want them is, I want a very confident football team. We'll never be arrogant. We'll never have our egos. We'll always play humble and practice hungry. And I thought the guys prepared the right way. But what I didn't want was what occurred last time. Is our defense had a lot of pride in what they were able to do, and they had a lot of confidence in the way they were play football. I didn't want one game to define who they were. That's why I kept saying that game is not going to define us as long as we come back and put in the work. So. More than anything, right? A win gets that bad taste out of your mouth. Let's be real. We're all human. I can't sit here and say I'm totally, not affected by losses and wins. No, get the bad taste out of your mouth. It's great to kind of go into a bye. I don't know what a bye week. Bless you, Frank. I don't know what a bye is because the team we're playing also has a bye conveniently. So we're gonna prepare, go practice like we normally do. Maybe get on the road to recruit for a day. But the confidence level will be high. But we know we got to continue to work hard.
Coach Brandon Thomas, fourth all-time in rushing touchdowns for Cousins. Like, how solid is he as a back? Like you said, since you've been here, he's been great kind of turning the ball.
First off, I appreciate the throwback. You don't know anything about who jersey you're wearing, but I appreciate wearing a throwback Vikings jersey. Did spend 6 years of my life in Minneapolis, and we're working for that wonderful organization, so thanks for supporting it. Look, Brandon Thomas, I think that's such a unique story. We all knew the promise of what Brandon Thomas could have come to fruition and how he did such a great thing early in his career. And then, kind of didn't hear a lot about him, but he's a young man that's kind of stuck by his guns. And Brandon and I have had the conversation throughout this entire deal. I said, I don't know how much football you're going to play, but you're going to get your darn degree. And he's set to graduate in December, and that's no BS. I told him, I said, I don't know if you're going to play much for us this year. Maybe you're just special teams, sure yards, goal line. But, his attitude and approach, it's just been awesome. Like, when he smiled, I was telling the team the other day, like, he's just got such an infectious smile, and I just love being around the young man. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to know a kid for 6 years in college football, and he's just a guy that he's done a tremendous job. And he looked like Earl Campbell in that one run. You're too young to know about Earl Campbell as well, Devin, but I know you appreciate the throwbacks. But just the way he ran the football, he runs hard. He does a great job for us, and you couldn't be more pleased with his success he's having so far this year.
Coach, so kind of a slow start, trading punts back and forth. What really got your guys through some year and getting over?
Yeah, I try not to believe in momentum, but we're dealing with 18 to 23-year-olds, and sometimes that happens. I know Jonah had mentioned that, the sack fumble. I think that sometimes can spark some excitement, and also just getting a feel for the rhythm. We had played or watched Middle Tennessee, and like I said, for 3 straight games they were playing one defense. And then last week versus Duke, they played a completely new defense. So we spent half our week preparing for 2 different defenses. I mean, that's just the nature of it. And I don't know if that attributed to the slow start. Obviously, when you turn the ball over on special teams, that's going to hurt you. Missing some blocks and missing some throws, those things will have a direct effect. But I think, like with everything, we tell our guys, like, let's not ride the wave of momentum. Let's just be so dialed in and focused. And I think part of having a veteran team that allowed us to get out of that little funk that we started off in. And, it's our job. We always script plays. You always got to understand what they're going to try to do. But very generally, you see something unique and different.
Coach, your offense had a All right, Coach, your offense had a pretty clean game for the most part. Didn't give any sacks, but out of the 11 drives, only 4 resulted in scores. You feel like you guys left some meat on the bone?
Absolutely. Right? We're an offense. We feel like we should be able to score every drive, and clearly we didn't do what we were capable of. And that's why I appreciate the guys. It wasn't just like, it would be one thing if I said, hey, it was just the offensive line making mistakes, or just the tight ends or wide receivers or the quarterback. I think we can all sit there and take the blame. And I think as you go forward, I mean, sometimes when you sit there and say, hey, it's one position, we'll get that fixed. But when it's multiple, one mistake on each drive that we knew was a reason, those are things that we can all get corrected. And each position group and coach can sit there and say, okay, these are things we can learn from. There's certainly plays out there. We need to be much more efficient, on offense. We expect to score every time, especially we get in the red zone. The missed field goal. I don't know if you guys saw that we actually had a different holder out there for that kick. Pre-game, we weren't sure if our punter was going to be able to go, but obviously he came back in and obviously punted, but then was able to hold the football and win on that long made field goal. So, plenty of things that we left out there offensively, but I look forward to getting back to the tape and seeing exactly what it was on each play.
Specifically with the offense, with the passing game, obviously Seth has that streak in, but there were a couple plays like Rock and Kobe both with their hands on passes in the end zone. Kind of throughout this season, is there something you can identify with the passing game where if they do one thing or a couple things, they'll kind of get back to where they were last year?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think when you say get back to last year, what do you mean by that?
Score more touchdowns, put up more points.
Yeah.
Passing game, I mean,
Oh.
Rock has one touchdown catch, that's the only touchdown catch for a receiver.
Yeah.
Obviously, the tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, when we get to the red zone, you know, if Brandon Thomas can run over, people are going to continue to do that. Obviously, you know, last year you guys asked me about how bad our run game was constantly, and why we're going to take what they give us. They lined up in a 5-down front and almost blitzed us almost exclusively, and so we got to win those one-on-ones, right? Rock and Kobe both had drops in the end zone. They got to catch the ball, and that's the reality of it. Seth's got to throw better footballs, but I'm not, you know, about those stats. Like, that's cool and all, but like if we're going to every time we get within the 1 yard line, like South Florida knows, we're going to hand the ball off to 22 or 30 to the tight end. I mean, that's what we're due, and we've been pretty good at it when we do it. But we need to make those catches. You know, John, we're going to have to be more explosive and find ways to make those catches when we get the one-on-ones. That's the key. And tonight we didn't win every one-on-one in the passing game, so we got to go back and figure out ways to get it done. You know, because there's some times we take the 5-yard hitch because they're playing corners off, and then they'd press us, and then we'd try to take one of those shots, and obviously warrant as successful as we need to be.
Time for two more. Tim?
When you went for it on 4th and 2 and you got the break with the penalty, how much of that was just aggressive and how much of it was missed field goals in the back of your mind? And I know you missed the holders, but what else do you need to clean up there to have more reliability?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so like I've talked to you guys in the past, I believe in analytics to a point, right? You also have to have a feel. I think it's an understanding of, hey, how's the momentum, how's the team, you know, all those things. Do we feel like we can get 2 yards with this offense? Most of the time, right, you know, analytics, and almost exclusively in college football, everybody uses a similar system, right? So anytime you get to your own 40 going in, so like 60 yards to score, okay, they will tell you on 4th and 2 or less that you should go for it, which is unique because they use a multitude of things. You know, the percentages are in your favor to actually go for it. Believe me, there's been times where they say go for it. No, send the punt unit out there. Because you know what? Exclusively, they almost tell you to go for it on every 4th and 1. And a lot of teams throughout college football do. But, you know, a lot of it was a feel for it. Obviously, the penalty obviously assisted us in what we need to get done. But I feel like, you know, let's line up our offense versus anybody in a 4th and 2. We should be able to get done. We're going to continue to be aggressive. A lot of it's because I got faith, and we have faith in this offense and what they're capable of doing.
Last question, Caleb.
Coach, after the game, Dr. Ed Scott came up and congratulated you. If you can you say what he said to you, and how much does it mean to you to have his support?
Yeah, look, it's been unique because right when we hired him, him and I have hit it off, and that's not always the case with administration and a football coach. But I think we think alike, and we discuss things pretty transparently, and I appreciate that. We've built a trust pretty quickly, which is unique. It's unique in any relationship. I don't care if it's with your athletic director, a girlfriend, a next-door neighbor, right, to build that trust. And I think having that support of our administration, especially our athletic director, is huge. And that doesn't mean that it didn't happen in the past, but there's that unique bond. And I think getting along and being able to have great conversations, and sometimes our conversations are hard, but that's what makes a unique relationship and a great one, because we shouldn't agree on everything, but we think a lot alike, and we both want to see this university, this city, this athletic department have success, and it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's a guy, like, right after the game, I'm looking to hug my players and looking for his bald head so I can give him a big hug as well. But it's been great, and I'm really excited and appreciative of his leadership.